I got some late breaking news. And the Celeste Rivas, David, aka the Gothic Vampires case. Yeah. Why am I still here? I'm thinking the same thing, David. I'm wondering why they ain't locked your hands up yet. Cause salute to Miss Red, Zap Pro, Ghost, but my mind, you died, and I didn't even cry. No, not a single tear. I take a waiting patiently for. The boy got me learning this demonic music. Got me liking the damn song. This is crazy. I think he's taking my soul, guys. I told you this boy is a vampire. Guy walks is in the building. Purple flowers. Chris, motherfucker, shocker. Real recognize. Real lies. I killed you. And I didn't even regret it. I can't believe I said it. So, yo, that music is so demonic. I hate you. The music is demonic, guys. But I'm not gonna lie. If you take time to sit and listen to D4vd's music, it will cash your motherfucking soul. Pure survival. I'm listening to this boy. I'm like, God damn, every time I listen to his music, like my teeth start getting sharp. I feel like I'm turning into a vampire. My teeth start getting sharp. I feel like I want to taste blood listening to that boy's music. But this, guys, is it's a lot of shit that's breaking in this boy's case, which blew my mind. This one, I'm not gonna lie. Rest in peace to Celeste Rivas, Pure Survival. This isn't funny, but what is funny is not far fetched. Okay, now y'all see what the boy look like. The boy is different. He got tongue rings and rings, and nose rings, and all types of piercings and weird gothic shit. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like for a guy to have a tongue ring, I always thought the dude is just pretty much trying to say, look, I suck dick. Pure survival. That's what I always felt like a dude with a tongue ring is trying to tell people that he likes to eat dinglings. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of girls, when they first started getting tongue rings, they was trying to say something. Like they'll show their tongue ring, like they're trying to show, hey, look, I perform oral sex pretty well. That's what that sign was. So when a guy get a tongue ring, I'm like, what is you doing? You know what I'm saying? But that's your business. But anyway, D4vd had allegedly a transgender girlfriend, guys. The boy had a transgender side chick during survival. Matter of fact, I don't know if Celeste Rivas was the side chick or the transgender. He had a Japanese transgender girlfriend, and I'm going to show y'all. Jackie Chan's trans daughter, D4vd was having an affair with. So this is the one that helped him freeze the body, guys. Come to find out, Celeste Rivas, this 14-year-old girl, her body was frozen. So they don't even know how long she was in the car. You know what I'm saying? So the gothic boy had a transgender girlfriend that helped him, you know what I mean, allegedly unalive this girl and chop her body up and all of that. And it's not far-fetched because the transgender girlfriend was jealous of Celeste Rivas of Celeste Rivas and David's relationship, the trans woman. Listen to
Here
this,
we start
guys.
with new developments in the case of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, whose body was found in the front trunk of singer David's impounded Tesla in September.
And David was officially identified as a suspect in the teen's death this week. And now a source that's close to the case says detectives have identified a second suspect.
Y'all hear that? The detectives identified a second suspect in David's Celeste Rivas's murder, because you know they officially stamped it. The girl was killed. I don't know how it took them so long to be able to figure that out, because you know she didn't chop her own body up and put her own pieces of her body inside that motherfucking Tesla. Pure survival. You know what I mean? But the second suspect, ladies and gentlemen, is a transgender woman that was David's alleged girlfriend. Y'all got to smash that like button, guys. This is straight breaking news, new development.
Here we start with new developments in the case of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, whose body was found in the front trunk of singer David's impounded Tesla in September.
And David was officially identified as a suspect in the teen's death this week. And now a source that's close to the case says detectives have identified a second suspect. Lindsay Pena, live in our news center with the latest on that. Lindsay?
Rick and Corinne, this is the second major development in this case this week. Back on Tuesday, a source was able to confirm to KTLA that singer David is being named as a suspect, as you mentioned. The body of the Lake Elsinore teen was found September 8th in the front trunk of David's Tesla, impounded at a Hollywood tow yard. David was on tour at the time, but police now believe Hernandez was killed last spring.
Wow. So now they're saying that she was killed last spring. So her body, ladies and gentlemen, was frozen, sitting inside of this Tesla ever since last spring during survival. This is why David was on tour. And the transgender girlfriend that was jealous of her probably was the one pushing the issue, telling David and the rest of the vampires, listen, if you don't get rid of this girl, we're going to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if she was a sacrifice or whatever, but the trans woman was definitely identified.
8th in the front trunk of David's Tesla, impounded at a Hollywood tow yard. David was on tour at the time, but police now believe Hernandez was killed last spring. The medical examiner reported she had been dead for an extended period of time. Just yesterday, the case was updated in the medical examiner's website. The cause of death had been listed as deferred for weeks, but now there is no information listed, which means there could be a security hold on the case.
And this is the crazy part about this, guys. Since her body was frozen all the way since last spring, they can't come up with a cause of death during survival. They know this little girl was murdered, but they don't know how. They don't know what, you know what I mean? Whether she was shot, whether she was stabbed, whether she was strangled, pure survival. But they do know that she was chopped into pieces. They do know that David allegedly had a transgender jealous girlfriend. Pure survival. A transgender jealous girlfriend that didn't like the fact that he had Celeste Rivas. So the trans woman, they on her ass too.
Examiner's website. The cause of death had been listed as deferred for weeks, but now there is no information listed, which means there could be a security hold on the case. Late today, TMZ reporting that Rivas's body may have been frozen, and that could make it difficult or nearly impossible to determine the cause of death. Our request to the medical examiner's office for more information hasn't been answered yet. Now there are reports of a second suspect being named. That information coming from attorney Mark Garagos, who is not connected to the case, but says he's talked to people close to the...
And look at him. Look at the boy right here. He had a girlfriend and he had a boyfriend. Pure survival. A girlfriend and a trans boyfriend. So them two didn't get along. So Les Rivas probably didn't like the fact that he had a transgender girlfriend, pure survival, a Japanese transgender girlfriend, and the trans woman didn't like the fact that he had Celeste Rivas. It's starting to, I noticed that the case is getting weirder and weirder, but it's more that's starting to make sense now. It's starting to make sense. And look at his bun. You can look at his hair and tell that he had a girlfriend. Pure survival. You can look at his hair and tell that he had a girlfriend. a trans woman.
Now there are reports of a second suspect being named. That information coming from attorney Mark Garagos, who is not connected to the case but says he's talked to people close to the investigation and they've told him this person could be involved before, during, and after her death.
You hear that? The second suspect was involved before she got killed, in the middle of her getting dismembered, and afterwards, as far as dumping her body. That's what the transgender woman was involved with, the whole thing. Smash that like button.
More information hasn't been answered yet. Now there are reports of a second suspect being named. That information coming from attorney Mark Garagos, who is not connected to the case but says he's talked to people close to the investigation and they've told him this person could be involved before, during, and after her death.
Wow.
I think what law enforcement is focusing on right now is they're trying to determine locations, and they have reverse engineered. They obviously know when they found the car. They obviously know when they discovered the remains. They now are reverse engineering the movements of all those who were involved, and they've done it in a very sophisticated way.
Wow, see, so they getting everybody that had something to do with this little girl, and now they know that David had help, guys. He had help, and this was his transgender girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? And she may have been upset. She might have popped a whole bunch of hormone pills and started getting jealous. You know what I'm saying? She started popping a whole bunch of hormonic pills and started getting jealous. But listen how horrible all information I get is if you from YouTube or Instagram. Shout out to you. Yeah, I mean, but listen to what happened to her body, guys. Shout out to TMZ.
Developments in the Celeste Rivas death. TMZ has learned that her body had been frozen, and when it was found, it was still partially frozen in the back of David's car, and it was in such bad condition that we are told the medical examiner may never be able to establish the cause of death. So here's what we know.
Now, y'all see that? Now, I think that this is bad to be telling the world that her body was frozen to the point that the medical examiners cannot determine how she died, even though to me that part shouldn't even matter no more, pure survival, because she already did. Her body was already chopped in all these pieces. Go get the killers. It shouldn't matter how she died. She was killed. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, I don't think it's right to tell the world, because now other killers are going to know, damn, all we got to do is freeze the body. If we freeze the body, they won't even be able to figure out what we done.
Some major developments in the Celeste Rivas death. TMZ has learned that her body had been frozen, and when it was found, it was still partially frozen in the back of David's car, and it was in such bad condition that we are told the medical examiner may never be able to establish the cause of death. So here's what we know. When the body was found, it was in terrible condition. It had been decapitated, the torso was intact, the limbs had been removed, and they were cut up severely.
Wow, smash that like button, guys, and put your prayer hands up. Do you hear that? The body was decapitated. This was a 13, 14, 15-year-old girl. You know what I'm saying? The torso, yo, this is wild. This is wild.
Such bad condition that we are told the medical examiner may never be able to establish the cause of death. So here's what we know. When the body was found, it was in terrible condition. It had been decapitated, the torso was intact, the limbs had been removed, and they were cut up severely. The body was partially frozen in the trunk, and this is really important because remember, the body had been sitting there for days before it was finally impounded and then the body discovered. And it was still, the body parts were still partially frozen. So we are told that when the body first went to the medical examiner's office in early September, it was listed as an apparent homicide, but that was just from what seemed obvious that the body was cut.
Yes, you see that? So at first, that makes more sense now because we was all wondering. This happened in September. How come nobody got arrested yet? Well, because the body was still frozen. They couldn't determine how the girl got in, was killed. You know what I mean? But I would just think that the fact that she was found cut up alone, I'm like, I would have thought this boy would have been got locked up.
Office in early September. It was listed as an apparent homicide, but that was just from what seemed obvious that the body was cut up into pieces. The medical examiner is having a really tough time right now trying to figure out what the cause of death was. We are told it is likely the cause of death will go undetermined because of the condition of the body and the fact that it was frozen and the fact that it was cut up the way it was. So
since they're going to keep it as the death is undetermined, can y'all do us one favor? Can y'all go lock up that little gothic motherfucker, Pure Survival? Go lock up that vampire before the vampire starts to drink other people's blood and the vampire's transgender wife. Can you go lock them up? We don't got to figure out no more about the cause of death. The girl was chopped up in little motherfucker Reese's Pieces by them vampires. This is horrible, guys.
The medical examiner is having a really tough time right now trying to figure out what the cause of death was. We are told it is likely the cause of death will go undetermined because of the condition of the body and the fact that it was frozen and the fact that it was cut up the way it was. So we have told you that we know David is a suspect, and even if it is undetermined, the LAPD can still move forward, as could the LA County District Attorney. The LAPD is viewing this as a homicide. David is a...
So if David's a suspect and the LAPD is viewing this as a homicide, when are they going to go into the vampire cave and start rounding the motherfuckers up? Pure Survival. You know what I mean? Everybody don't have garlic to be able to put on their neck. I have garlic. I had garlic for the freak-off vampires at Diddy's freak-off dungeon. So David's vampires, if they try to fly through my window, I got garlic. You know what I mean? But there's other people out there that doesn't have garlic to protect themselves from David. This is crazy, guys.
Was cut up the way it was. So we have told you that we know David is a suspect, and even if it is undetermined, the LAPD can still move forward, as could the LA County District Attorney. The LAPD is viewing this as a homicide. David is a suspect. We know this. And one of the keys to the case is a trip that authorities say David made in the middle of the night back in this spring to a remote area of Santa Barbara County. We are now also told that there is a second suspect.
See, and listen, when he made that trip in Santa Barbara, or whatever, Santa Barbecue, wherever that trip he took, the boy took a secret trip in the middle of the night for 3 hours. Pure Survival. They already got the phone records and everything. I believe that's where the cave is at. I believe that's where they unalived Celeste Rivas and chopped her body up. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all believe where David went for that 3 hours. He was probably sitting there killing that girl. Put a 2 in the chat if y'all think he just went somewhere for 3 hours to look at the earth. You know what I'm saying? He was over there doing some freaky ass shit. That's why they know that it was weird that he disappeared for that long.
Is a suspect. We know this. And one of the keys to the case is a trip that authorities say David made in the middle of the night back in this spring to a remote area of Santa Barbara County. We are now also told that there is a second suspect, and our information is that the second suspect has something to do with the cutting up of the body.
Y'all hear that? the second suspect have something to do with cutting up Celeste Rivas' body. Everybody smash that like button that's in the building. Hit that like button. Tap the screen twice. It doesn't cost you no money to do that. Now, the second suspect is the transgender girlfriend. David's alleged transgender love affair. He had a secret gay love affair. And this is probably how the relationship got all messed up to where they had to unalive Celeste Rivas. The damn trans woman got jealous.
In the middle of the night back in this spring to a remote area of Santa Barbara County. We are now also told that there is a second suspect, and our information is that the second suspect has something to do with the cutting up of the body. Now, Mark Garagos, who is my co-host on the Two Angry Men podcast, told us in the most recent podcast that his information is that this second suspect is being looked at not just for dismembering the body, but also for what happened before, during, and after Celeste's death.
Wow, y'all hear that? So the transgender woman had something to do with before they even cut her up. So y'all can put the two and two together. He had two girlfriends, pure survival, Celeste Rivas, and he had the trans woman. So it sounds like the trans woman and Celeste Rivas, pure survival, had a fight. Them two must have gotten to a fight during survival. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't know if David was more in love with Caitlyn Jenner. I don't know if he was more in love with Caitlyn or Celeste, but somehow he ended up deciding to take Celeste out. This is crazy, guys. This is crazy.
Host on the Two Angry Men podcast told us in the most recent podcast that his information is that this second suspect is being looked at not just for dismembering the body, but also for what happened before, during, and after Celeste's death. So there is a second suspect that the LAPD has its sights on. They have identified the person. Garriga says he knows who it is, not saying, but it is a second suspect implicated here. So obviously the question, how on earth did this body go from Santa Barbara, if that's indeed where it was taken? And that seems to be the operating theory of the LAPD, that if it was taken to Santa Barbara, how did it end up back in Los Angeles in the trunk of David's car in a residential neighborhood? The only thing that makes sense, and that's months and months later, the only thing that makes sense is that based on connecting the dots, it would seem that this body was put in a freezer for an extended period of time.
Wow, guys. Smash that like button. This is crazy. So when Celeste Rivas was killed, she was put in the refrigerator. Like, I'm telling you, David is like Jeffrey Dahmer, guys. The dude is like Jeffrey Dahmer mixed with vampire. So the girl's body was inside of a refrigerator. You mean inside of a refrigerator. So the girl was frozen to where they had to thaw her out. This is crazy, guys. They had to thaw her out. That's why they still can't find out the cause of death. That's how frozen she was. So he probably got some other bodies and some freezers out there. They need to go lock David up, guys. Go get this vampire.
Was taken to Santa Barbara. How did it end up back in Los Angeles in the trunk of David's car in a residential neighborhood? The only thing that makes sense, and that's months and months later, the only thing that makes sense is that based on connecting the dots, it would seem that this body was put in a freezer for an extended period of time, and it was so frozen that by the time it got in the car, it took a long time for it to unfreeze, and it had not fully unfrozen at the time the body was discovered at the impound lot. So again, it looks like there may never be a cause of death determined by the medical examiner. The body was frozen. Okay, just keep looking at TMZ. We will have more updates.
All right, well, if the body was frozen, you're never going to figure out how the cause of death. Y'all know he did it. Y'all know that he and his transgender woman allegedly unalived this girl. We waiting for y'all to go lock him up. Let me show y'all. Smash that like button if y'all want to see the transgender girlfriend. Everybody that want to see the transgender girlfriend, Because I got a picture of her. I'm gonna show y'all. Her name allegedly is Neo, not the singer. Everybody smash that like button if y'all want to see the transgender girlfriend. I got the pictures, but I need the likes to go up. Everybody, I'm gonna sit here and wait for y'all all to smash that like button. I want 500 likes right now. I'm gonna show y'all the transgender girlfriend that David was in love with, that he was having an affair, a secret gay love affair, and this trans woman allegedly helped David kill this girl and chop her into little motherfucking pieces. Spells of Bible. Yes, everybody get them likes up. Keep them likes coming. I'm looking right at the transgender girlfriend. And when y'all see this girl, y'all gonna be like, this is the girl that David was going crazy over, Pure Survival. We got 1,100 people in the building. Let's get 500 likes. Everybody hit that like button on the screen because y'all got to see this girl. I know Celeste Rivas and this girl must have been having it out. This girl must have been having it out. They were fighting over David's gothic wiener. They were fighting over David's gothic wiener. And it's sad because that girl was she was a minor. You know what I'm saying? And so he had her messed up in the head, Pearls of Bible, making that little girl think she was in love and all types of shit. Who knows if David was trying to have a three-way with the trans woman and Celeste Rivas. Celeste Rivas probably said, I'm not down with this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not having a three-way with y'all. So then that's why they ended up unaliving her. This is crazy, guys. I never knew that. They froze the girl body. The transgender girlfriend and David did the shit together as a family affair. You know what I'm saying? So I can't wait for more information to come out. But everybody, yes, continue to smash that like button. I got to show y'all the transgender girlfriend. And I'm going to just put it like this. The trans woman name is Neo. Her name is Neo. And it's crazy as hell. I mean, I'm calling her Jackie Chan's daughter. I'm sorry. Shout out to Jackie Chan, one of my favorite Chinese karate people or whatever, movie stars. But this looked like this could be Jackie Chan's trans daughter right here. Pierce her Bible. I'm going to show y'all right now. Check her out. This is the trans woman.
Years now. So, like, people thought.
And he talking about when he met David and everything.
Steve made comments about Neo, and Neo's gone silent on social media. So this is an old clip of Neo saying that he's known David for years now. So, like, people thought that I met him through Sakura, but no, I've known David for years, and I met Sakura like 2 months ago through Tofu. And then my worlds kind of combined together, and it's kind of funny.
You hear that? She said that she knew David for years, Pure Survival, and our love affair, our world combined it. Our world combined it. You know what I'm saying? Does this trans woman look jealous? Does she look jealous? Pure Survival? You know what I'm saying? She got the hair and all of that stuff. Look at this. So I do not know if this trans woman got jealous because David was running his gothic fingernails through Celeste Rivas' hair and not running his gothic fingernails through her hair. I do not know. But this, ladies and gentlemen, allegedly is the second goddamn suspect identified in the Celeste Rivas situation. He's the one who had an affair with David. This is crazy, guys. I was not shocked when I said there or he had a gay love affair. All right, wow.
Steve made comments about Neo, and Neo's gone
Shout out
silent
to
on
Trap
social media.
LaRose.
So this is an old clip of Neo saying that he's known David for years now. So, like, people thought that I met him through Sakura, but no, I've known David for years, and I met Sakura like 2 months ago through Tofu. And then my worlds kind of combined together, and it's kind of funny.
Look at that. Look, this is her, guys. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all think that she's guilty. Put a 2 in the chat if y'all think that she's innocent. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all think this trans woman is guilty. Put a 2 in the chat if y'all think that she's innocent during survival. You know what I'm saying? This is insane, guys. This story is getting more creepier and creepier. She said, I met David years ago. It was through tofu. We was eating tofu young out there. We was eating tofu young. Listen to her. They were eating tofu young.
saying that he's known David for years now.
So, like people thought that I met him through Sakura, but no, I've known David for years, and I met Sakura like 2 months ago through Tofu, and then my worlds kind of combined together, and it's kind of funny.
So soon as they started eating tofu together, then their worlds combined it. They started eating tofu young together, then they started clapping each other's cheeks and buttering each other's biscuit, and then their worlds combined it. And their worlds combined it. And then this woman right here, she didn't want David to be seeing Celeste Rivas no more.
Above, Steve made comments about Neo, and Neo's gone silent on social media. So this is an old clip of Neo saying that he's known David for years now.
So, like people thought that I met him through Sakura, but no, I've known David for years, and I met Sakura like 2 months ago through Tofu, and then my worlds kind of combined together, and it's kind of funny.
And it's a shame that she was so jealous that she, you know what I'm saying, allegedly helped unalive Celeste Rivas, that she was so jealous over David's and Celeste Rivas' affair. I mean, love or life or whatever. Like, this is just crazy, man. This story is getting weirder and weirder.
Another suspect, other than David, who the LAPD has its sights set on with respect to what happened to Celeste before, during, and after her death, correct?
Correct.
Look, and they
Welcome to the Two Angry Men podcast. Mark, the singer David is in big trouble. We now know, and I can give you this 100%, although the medical examiner has not yet determined cause of death, nor has the toxicology report been given over to the LAPD. The LAPD robbery homicide unit is viewing the death of Celeste Rivas as a homicide, and David
and we all knew that this was a homicide from the very beginning. There's no way that somebody chopped their own body up and put their own self in the trunk. That is obvious. We've been knew it was a homicide.
A suspect, and he is a
David is not the only suspect.
And David is not the only suspect. But what I am told is that at least one other suspect, it's not necessarily in connection to the murder, it's in connection to dismembering the body. And I think this all has to do with a mysterious trip to Santa Barbara in the middle of the night last spring.
Wow, everybody smash that like button. It boils down to the mysterious trip that David and his transgender girlfriend, the trip that they took, that mysterious trip in the middle of the night. I guarantee you they're going to find all kinds of evidence that was out there. It's coming out.
Suspect. But what I am told is that at least one other suspect, it's not necessarily in connection to the murder, it's in connection to dismembering the body. And I think this all has to do with a mysterious trip to Santa Barbara in the middle of the night last spring. And I got details. What do you got?
Wow.
Okay, so not only that, but you know how we've almost got whiplash on this story from, I think you were the one who had said that all of your sources had dried up like very, very early on this. And you were
not anymore. Not anymore.
And the reason for that, by the way, my surmise, wild speculation, they not only got the records that support what you were saying is 100%, that he took a trip to Santa Barbara County, but they now also, and you may have reported this, I'm not in the weeds on the TMZ feed, but they've got his social media and have tied up social media.
Wow. So they got David's social media. They know that he was with Celeste Rivas. They know that she was a minor. So everything that little Gothic boy was doing on the internet, pure survival, no disrespect to the Gothic community. You know what I'm saying? But whatever he was doing on social media, the police have it all in documents, ladies and gentlemen. Smash that like button. So his ass is about to go to vampire jail real soon.
And you may have reported this. I'm not in the weeds on the TMZ feed, but they've got his social media and have tied up social media with some of the trips, and they've got cell phone records that they have poured over, and they have triangulated this to the point where it's eerie. I saw this 10 years ago in another murder case that I had, but when it was in the infancy stages, they've got a chart at LAPD that you would not believe.
Wow, they got a chart that you won't believe of evidence that this boy is guilty. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all think David is guilty. Put a 2 in the chat if y'all think that this boy is not guilty. He had nothing to do with it. I even said, look, hey, maybe somebody tried to set the boy up. I even thought that. I said, well, maybe somebody set David up. Pure survival. Somebody might have put the body in the trunk and he was on tour. He had nothing to do with it. But no, this person had keys to the Tesla. So now that we find out that he had a transgender girlfriend, pure survival, so now it makes sense. He gave his transgender girlfriend the keys to the Tesla. You know what I'm saying? I know it took so long, guys, but we must be patient for Celeste Rivas to get justice. You know what I mean? Because it's all making sense now. You know what I'm saying? You got a jealous trans woman on hormone pills that crashed out.
On another murder case that I had, but when it was in the infancy stages, they've got a chart at LAPD that you would not believe. They've got this thing down to a timeline that's almost by the minutes triangulated to the location, if you can believe that. And it's not just one source. When I say triangulated, it's media, social media, cell phone, Tesla, other and all I'll say is other kind of GPS tracking.
Wow. So they're done. So the Tesla recorded everywhere it was at. Y'all know that the Tesla had cameras on it. So whoever put the body in the trunk, the police already knew it. It's all on camera. They got all the phone records from every place that David and the trans woman was going to with Celeste Rivas. You know what I mean? It's all about to come crashing down, guys, on this boy.
Devices, if you will. And it's really, I used to joke, or my father used to joke, LAPD is lost and presumed destroyed. They actually have elevated their game, and this is quite a feat of investigation so far.
Wow.
That's fascinating. So let me tell you what we know, because it aligns with what you just said, that in the spring, David took a trip to a very remote area of Santa Barbara County in the middle of the night and spent several hours there. We have also been told, yes, there is another suspect, but the suspect is somebody they believe helped him dismember the body, because what we were told by multiple sources is they believe that more than one person dismembered the body.
Wow, see? More than one person dismembered the body. You know what I'm saying? They know that vampire had other vampire help during survival. If you've seen the movie The Lost Boys, thou shalt not kill. Once you drink the blood, you turn into one of those freak off vampires, pure survival. So the trans woman must have drunk David's blood and turned to a vampire too. I'm telling you, this shit crazy. That he looked like one of them boys that be doing human sacrifices and writing the crosses, carving it. And y'all know what I'm talking about. The shit you see on Forensic Files, pure survival. You know damn well David looked like one of them weird ass motherfuckers that do some shit like that. I'm sorry.
We have also been told, yes, there is another suspect, but the suspect is somebody they believe helped him dismember the body, because what we were told by multiple sources is they believe that more than one person dismembered the body. Now, I don't think they can conclude that just by looking at it. I mean, look, Jeffrey Dahmer dismembered a body completely and he did it alone. So there's some reason they're saying he had help. And it's not just the way the body was cut up. So here's my...
See, and Jeffrey Dahmer was a different kind of killer, pure survival. Jeffrey Dahmer, he would kill you and then clap your cheeks. He never liked Jeffrey Dahmer only liked boys. He'll meet men at the damn at bars and shit and bomb drinks and offer to give them head and then take them home, give them and cut their head off, pure survival, and hand it to that torso, like literally give them head. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't like to clap your cheeks until you were dead. Jeffrey Dahmer was a different kind of serial killer, so he was able to dismember you by himself.
Dismembered a body completely, and he did it alone. So there's some reason they're saying he had help, and it's not just the way the body was cut up. So here's my theory, and I've got a little bit of evidence on this too, but my theory is that they may have done this in Santa Barbara County, and the reason there may be another suspect is that yes, there's cell phone data, but I think more important, there might be Tesla video. Remember,
Tesla video, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody is 1,700 people watching right now. Everybody smash that like button. Everybody in the building. That Tesla footage, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that Tesla footage, it's coming out. You know, the cops got all of that shit. So I think that that's where, when David went away for that 3 hours in the wilderness somewhere, that's when they killed that girl and unalived her and dismembered her.
is that yes, there's cell phone data, but I think more important, there might be Tesla video. Remember, Tesla has cameras on the car, and the LAPD, we're told, has gained access to that data and clearly that video. What if there is video of not just David in the car, but a second person in the car?
And that would be, ladies and gentlemen, the transgender girlfriend that he allegedly was having an affair with. So they know what they talking about. People want to say, oh, TMZ don't know what they talking about. TMZ know exactly what they talking about. Them motherfuckers know what's about to happen. You know what I'm saying?
That video. What if there is video of not just David in the car, but a second person in the car? And then the question, do they have any evidence the body was possibly dismembered there? I'm going to tell you something, and I cannot be more specific, but there was an offhanded comment made to me by somebody connected to all of this about possibly hiding the body there.
Wow. So hiding the body. So they dismembered and chopped her up and all of that, and they were hiding the body as the body was frozen, guys. As the body was frozen. And as I tell you, they got all types of shit. Fingerprints, doodle stains, whatever that the trans woman and David left, the residue, they got all of it. They have all of it.
Offhanded comment made to me by somebody connected to all of this about possibly hiding the body there. I mean, just the words hiding the body. And it was posed kind of as a hypothetical, but it's somebody with some knowledge. And so what I'm thinking is that I don't think they took Celeste to Santa Barbara County and killed her, if that's indeed what happened to Celeste. Whatever happened probably happened somewhere else, maybe in LA, and that the body was taken to Santa Barbara County.
Wow. So I'm going to ask y'all, put a 1 in the chat if y'all think Celeste Rivas was killed in LA and then transported to Santa Barbecue where he was hanging out for 3 hours? Or do y'all think that they did everything in Santa Barbecue, you know what I'm saying, where they chopped her up and killed her at? You know what I'm saying? Which one do y'all think? Or they were just driving around with her frozen in the motherfucking trunk like a pack of chicken. This is crazy, guys. Rest in peace to Celeste Rivas. Smash that like button, man. These vampires are sick.
And so what I'm thinking is that I don't think they took Celeste to Santa Barbara County and killed her, if that's indeed what happened to Celeste. Whatever happened probably happened somewhere else, maybe in LA, and that the body was taken to Santa Barbara County, and maybe the body was dismembered there. Now, what I can't answer is, how does it then end up in his trunk? And that I can't figure out. back in Los Angeles. But that Santa Barbara trip is the key to this case, Mark. I'm telling you, I've been on the phone personally on this one, and that Santa Barbara trip is the key.
Wow, the Santa Barbara trip, guys, is the key to the whole thing. We know it's all on film. We know that Tesla got recordings. There is a reason why the LAPD has not went and locked that vampire up yet. Pure Bible. But you know they got surveillance. They have surveillance footage on that boy, and they're tracking every move that he make. You know what I mean? Just in case he tried to sink his teeth into another victim. This is crazy, man. So David had help, and David had an alleged transgender girlfriend that helped him out, guys. This is wild, man. Everybody tap that like button, man. This is sad.
What I can't answer is, how does it then end up in his trunk? And that I can't figure out, back in Los Angeles. But that Santa Barbara trip is the key to this case, Mark. I'm telling you, I've been on the phone personally on this one, and that Santa Barbara trip is the key.
Yeah, and by the way, the whiplash that I've talked about in terms of the reporting on this as well, that whiplash also had to do with, at first, they weren't even sure that it was dismembered because of the degradation. And so that took a little while, which was another reason they were being so kind of tight and close to the vest, so to speak.
Yes, and that had us sitting around wondering, like, what is going on? Because do y'all remember when they came out and said that David wasn't a suspect? Do y'all remember that? Put a one in the chat if y'all remember when they said that David wasn't a suspect during survival. Because we hopped on his ass like Diddy Glover. We hopped on his ass like Diddy. And no Diddy at the same time. When it first happened. They said, oh no, the boy didn't do nothing. He was on tour. He's innocent, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And then we find out months later, he was the head suspect. They said that David wasn't even communicating with the police during survival. You know what I mean? Recently. But before they said, yeah, him and his lawyers, they're talking to the police. He's you know what I mean? Like he's cooperating, and come to find out, no, this vampire wasn't. The vampire never was cooperating during survival. You know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy, man. But guys, like I said, if you run into David, make sure you got some garlic on your neck. You gotta have like garlic, pepper. You know what I mean? Even the onion, You know that boy flies. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's another thing. There's going to be certain locations that they're not going to find out that David was at because the boy can fly. His fingernails is sharp and black. His toenails is sharp and black. Pills of Bible. He sleeps upside down. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're dealing with a different kind of, you know what I mean? This is a vampire, for Christ's sakes. The man said, what the hell he say? The boy David told on himself in the damn music, guys. He tells on himself in the music. And he kills her inside the video. Saints rise and shine, the rain flames and night, the try. And the little vampire got me learning the music. In the back of my mind, you died, and I didn't even cry. No, not a single tear. I take a waiting patiently for someone that you can hear how demonic the music is, guys. Listen to the melody, like. This is a confession right here. They're gonna play this in the courtroom. In the back of my mind, I killed you, and I didn't even regret it. I can't believe I said it. Yo, that boy is crazy. In the back of my mind, I killed you, and I didn't even regret it. I can't believe that I said it. If the music is not telling you that the boy is guilty, then I don't know what else to tell you, brother Bible. The motherfucker is telling you in the song. In the back of my mind, I killed you, and I didn't even regret it. I can't believe I said it. So he don't even regret what he done to Celeste Rivas. Brother Bible. This is crazy, guys. Everybody smash that like button, man. And if you want to become a member, go ahead and become a member to my channel, because we're staying up to date. We're staying up to date with motherfucking David and everything else that's going on in this weird ass motherfucking industry. Brother Bible. Highly weird. You know what I'm saying? We are staying together. That's why I tell you to become a member of Survival, the Pure Survival membership. That's why I say Pure Survival, because it's so many things that we have to survive in this day and age. You know what I'm saying? But this is crazy. This vampire is somewhere right now drinking a can of blood soda. He drinking a can of blood soda. Shout out to JB2. Just hit that super chat. Pure Survival. Please don't sing that a spell like sinners. I know, man. Listen, because I didn't know who D4vd was, JB2. Shout out to Nashasha. Just hit that super chat. Pure Survival. Said Diamond was a, what the hell? He sure enough was. A nale poseitas. Yo, listen, guys. David is going down in the book with Jeffrey Dahmer, with John Wayne Gacy, all of them. I think he was a serial killer vampire. This is just my total belief. He made music and did the videos and killed you in the video. He kills his girl in the video. And then he drags his own body up and down the motherfucking street and put his body in the trunk. If that's not a confession, I don't know what else to say. How this girl get found stuffed inside of David's trunk in his Tesla, and he got a music video stuffing a body inside the trunk. Then he got a video stabbing the girl up, you know what I mean, to death. She laying on the bed. And they saying, we don't know the cause of death. Well, I think she was probably stabbed to death. The way he did this shit in the video, I think that's what he did to her. So they don't need to tell me how. What's the album? Look, I had to look it up. It's called motherfucking, just go D4. If you go to YouTube, put D4vd music. When I listen to his music, I'm talking about I was creeped out. It's some shit that I know, like the little young people, they get high. You know what I mean? It's like, it's music that's made for like people that's like depressed, or people that's like gothic motherfuckers. But I'm not gonna lie, like the boy actually, you know, I don't mean to sound sick, but the motherfucker can sing a little bit. Pure the Bible. He honestly got a little voice. Look at him. Look how dark the video is. He in the rain like Ray J, like the One Wish video. Look at this shit. Look at it. You telling me this is not no gothic type of weird, spiritual, scary shit? Look at the clouds and the... Look at him, look at him. In the back of my mind, I killed you. Look, he walking. He got blood on his shirt. This man is guilty as hell. And look, I think that this was Celeste Rivas. He got it like there's a girl that he's looking at across the street that's light-skinned, same color as that girl. I'm telling you, look, watch when she laying in the bed. This is real spooky part. Look at this. Look, she's laying in the bed dead. He got blood all over his motherfucking shirt. Any jury see this right here, this is automatic guilty. Give him life in motherfucking prison. Look at this. All of those knives. They're trying to figure out, how did Celeste Rivas die? Put them one in the chat if y'all think that she probably was stabbed to death. Put a 2 in the chat if y'all don't think that. I'm telling y'all, he has a video where he stabs to death a light-skinned girl, the same complexion as her. She's laying on the bed. It's knives everywhere. I feel like he's showing you how he killed. And then they dismembered her, chopped her in all these little motherfucking pieces. And he got all these knives laying on the bed in the music video that did like damn near 1 billion fucking streams. This shit is crazy. Look, I ain't even know who the boy was. I looked him up. I said, God damn, and he was super, look at this, super viral. Super viral. Look, he got blood all on the rose. He got blood on the rose. Look, she's laying in the bed. This video get played in court. He worse than YNW Melly. Pure survival. He's worse than YNW Melly. Look at that. That is crazy as hell. And look at all the blood on the bed. Yo, they need to go get that vampire. I am sorry, but he is a vampire. He is a vampire. All of them knives in there, and come to find out that girl was chopped up. For the people who didn't hear how bad that body was beat up and chopped up and all of that, that is vampire psychopathic work. For the people who didn't hear it, listen how bad her body was chopped up.
Major developments in the Celeste Rivas death. TMZ has learned that her body had been frozen, and when it was found, it was still partially frozen in the back of David's car, and it was in such bad condition that we are told the medical examiner may never be able to establish the cause of death. So here's what we know. When the body was found, it was in terrible condition. It had been decapitated, the torso was intact, the limbs had been removed, and they were cut up severely.
The limbs was removed and they were cut up severely. Didn't y'all just see all those knives he had on that bed in that music video with all the blood on it? He was really living out his music. You know how you got the rappers that be talking about, yeah, I shot this dude, I shot that dude, we spent the block and we shot him again. And the rappers that be living those lyrics, he was living out his music, his fantasies. I think that boy was crazy and he was fantasizing of doing this type of shit. And he did it.
That we are told the medical examiner may never be able to establish the cause of death. So here's what we know. When the body was found, it was in terrible condition. It had been decapitated, the torso was intact, the limbs had been removed, and they were cut up severely. The body was partially frozen in the trunk, and this is really important because remember, the body had been sitting there for days before it was finally impounded and then the body discovered. And it was still, the body parts were still partially frozen. So we are told that when the body first went to the medical examiner's office in early September, it was listed as an apparent homicide, but that was just from what seemed obvious, that the body was cut up into pieces. The medical examiner is having a really tough time right now trying to figure out what the cause of death was. We are told.
And I'm telling y'all, TMZ, the cause of death, in my humble opinion, she was stabbed to death. That's what I think. Pure survival. I could be wrong. She could have been strangled. But I think a knife was involved from all the knives that I've seen in this boy's hands and in his fucking videos.
It is likely the cause of death will go undetermined because of the condition of the body and the fact that it was frozen and the fact that it was cut up the way it was. So we have told you that we know David is a suspect, and even if it is undetermined, the LAPD can still move forward, as could the LA County District Attorney. The LAPD is viewing this as a homicide. David is a suspect. We know this. And one of the keys to the case is a trip that authorities say David made in the middle of the night back in this spring to a remote area of Santa Barbara County. We are now also told that there is a second suspect, and our information is that the second suspect has something to do with the cutting up of the body.
Wow.
Now,
See? Point blank period. Second suspect has something to do with cutting the body up. Allegedly his transgender girlfriend. The boy is a vampire, guys. Everybody smash that like button if you agree with me that the boy is guilty as hell. He's guilty. So is his transgender girlfriend. And no disrespect to the LBG community, because this is not against, you know what I mean, like a certain genre. I'm just telling y'all what it was. What's that dude name? Tyler Robinson? Tyler Robinson, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. He killed Charlie Kirk for talking about the transgender community, and he had a transgender girlfriend. So he felt some kind of way about his views on transgenders. So maybe, like I said, maybe Celeste Rivas was probably making fun of David for having a transgender girlfriend, or I do not know. But somehow Celeste and the trans woman, they bumped heads. And y'all women on here, y'all can't act like y'all don't understand. When your man is having an affair, cheating on you with another woman, you and that other woman sometimes crash out. Put a one in the chat if that's true. Pills about. If your man was cheating on you right now, you know what I mean? Now you're gonna get in his ass too, but you want to know who that other woman is, right? And you and that other woman might end up getting into some shit, especially if she knew who you was and y'all supposed to been friends. How we know that the trans woman wasn't friends with Celeste Rivas and then backdoored her? You know, now that I know, when I first heard that, because I've been thought that it had to been somebody else to help that boy, you know, get away with this, because they said he was on tour. But come to find out, her body's been frozen. They went and did this shit last year. This came out in September with her in the trunk. So it's a possibility that they had that girl frozen for a whole year. And if they had her frozen for a year and she got found at the age of 15, this means that they unalived her at the age of 14. This is sad, ladies and gentlemen. This is sad. His ass should be locked up, period, even on the strength that she was a minor. Even on the strength that she was running away from home to go to this gothic motherfucker vampire at the age of 13. Now, I'm not going to lie to y'all. Celeste Rivas was like a different kind of young girl, which I know a lot of young girls like that. I seen me growing up, because I saw videos with her cursing out her neighbors, like arguing with them. And I said, damn, Celeste was like a little gangster. So she wasn't like a little 15. She was like a little mature for her age. Is that a better word to say? A better way to say it? She was mature. I was surprised when I heard her talking. I said, oh my God, I didn't think she talked like that. Like, it sounded like she was like with the smoke, like on gangster time. So maybe David, because I think that the boy knew that since she was underage, he probably tried to break up with her. Cause we found out that she wasn't pregnant. We found out. I thought she was pregnant, and he didn't want the world to know that he got a 15-year-old girl pregnant. That's what I was thinking, or a 14-year-old girl pregnant. But they found out that she wasn't pregnant. But I think maybe David wanted to break it off because he was more into his transgender woman. He done put that ding-a-ling on him. And he was trying to get rid of Celeste Rivas, Prince of Bible. So him and the trans woman came up with this idea to unalive her. I'm sorry. Like, this is just my opinion during survival. This is just my opinion. But at the end of the day, he is not innocent. And people ran up there. The moment they said, oh, David's not a suspect, you heard people online talking about, David's innocent. He didn't do nothing. Stop saying that David did the shit. And then to come to find out, he's the head vampire. Y'all did not see the movie Lost Boys. It's always one head vampire. You know what I'm saying? And if you invite a vampire in your house, it renders you of power. So you can have garlic on your neck, you can have peppers, onions, whatever. It won't affect the vampire because you invited the vampire into your house. Pure survival. You can turn the lights off and the vampire won't glow in the dark. I found that out from watching the movie Lost Boys. When the mom in the movie Lost Boys, she was dating the head vampire, and the sons was trying to, they was vampire hunting, and they figured that the mom's boyfriend was the head vampire. So when he came over for dinner, they was doing shit like dropping pepper, putting pepper and all this shit in his food to see if it was going to affect him during survival. They turned the lights off at the dinner table, and the mom is like, "What are you boys? Or what are y'all doing? We trying to find out, mom, if you're getting your cheeks clapped by the head vampire, per the Bible, because you so damn vulnerable and happy to finally got a man in your life, but you got a vampire in your life, mom." You know what I'm saying? But it didn't work. Even when they took the water guns and sprayed garlic in the vampire's eyes, it couldn't affect them. And we found out if you watch the movie Lost Boys, it's from the 90s, that when you invite a vampire into your home, it renders you power. It renders you power. So none of that affected him. So they thought, damn, he ain't the head vampire. And then come out in the end that he ended up being the head vampire. So I'm trying to tell y'all that David, it's the 80s. It's the 80s. The movie The Lost Boys. I thought it was in the 90s because that was my shit during survival. You know what I'm talking about? That's a real good motherfucking movie. And in the end, he tried to suck his mom's blood. He tried to suck the mom's blood to turn her into the head vampire's wife. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying David is a vampire, guys. And I'm not going to lie. I will be glad to hear that the boy got arrested. I don't care how grown Celeste Rivas was for her age. It's still wrong for this girl to have got killed. You know what I mean? If you mess with a young girl and she wouldn't want to break it off with you because you more into your secret gay love affair, you should have, killing her shouldn't have not been an option, sir. But I think that David's been like this, guys. Because you also had people defending the boy saying, well, he made that video where he's killing the girl in the video. He made that in 2023. I'm like, so? This means that the boy been thinking about doing some shit like this. He been had murder on his mind like YNW Melly. Pure survival. Do you think that a killer just killed just one day? No, the motherfucker's been thinking about it. He's been fantasizing. And so Celeste Rivas was the one that gave him that sexual gratification or whatever. Because a lot of serial killers, they get off sexually. They get off sexually by killing you. Like it's like real demonic, pure survival. Y'all seen that with Jeffrey Dahmer. He would kill you and then start cooking you on the stove with some eggs and grits and eat you for breakfast. You know what I'm saying? And then you got serial killers that, like I said, again, Jeffrey had sex with your corpse, Some of them start having orgasms after strangling you to death. We know these are all serial killer behaviors. Like I said, man, shout out to everybody that's in the building. Smash that like button if y'all want justice for Celeste Rivas. If y'all want justice for Celeste Rivas. Because we're getting to the bottom of it. Wherever your ass was at, David, they got the GPS. They got your phone records and everything, boy. So you could round up all the rest of your vampires and let them know that the head vampire is about to go into a different kind of cave. Pure survival. You about to be right. You're going to be locked up with Diddy Glover. They're going to make David and Diddy cellmates. They fuck around and get married or something like that. David and Diddy, that'd be a good couple. You know what I'm saying? But you better hurry up because Diddy is about to get pardoned allegedly by Donald Trump come January. Pure survival. So David, you better get in there See if you could, be one of Diddy's sex workers while he's, in prison. But guys, shout out to all of y'all, man. Prayers for Celeste Rivas and David. You going to jail. Pure